Ben Faubert. I'm principal here at Mountain House High School.
And I'm Brian Shum. I'm the associate principal at Mountain House High School.
Tonight's School Site Council will be a little bit shorter than normal with the presentations, but what we're going to be talking about tonight is the new law that's gone through and the bell schedule that has resulted from that. So the objective of tonight's meeting is to review the changes that are being made to next year's bell schedule to comply with the new mandated 8:30 start time. We're going to do an overview of the bell schedules that we'll have next year and a brief explanation of those bell schedules. Then we're going to open it up for questions and answers from the community. We're so grateful that you joined us here tonight on this live stream. You'll notice that there's opportunities for you to submit questions in the chat window next to this video, and that's how we'll be monitoring the questions as we go through this meeting and at the end of this meeting. So as many of you may know, and many may not know, is the state passed a new law that applies to high schools only. And that rule makes it so that high schools are not allowed to start their classes before 8:30 in the morning. And so what we had to do this year is design a bell schedule for our next school year that started after 8:30, but also tried to not overwhelm families and students and go too far into the afternoon, because we know there's a lot of afternoon activities. We have our own sports here. We want to make sure that we honor the time of our families, and also to avoid taking away from instructional time in the classroom. So the new bell schedule will impact classroom time very minimally. So with that being said, we're going to go ahead and just present to you the different bell schedules that we have this year. So starting next year, like I said, school will not start, the first period of the day will not start until 8:30 a.m. So what happens at 8 o'clock is, instead of having a brunch during the school day where the students can buy breakfast between our second and third periods, breakfast will be open from 8 to 8:25 in the morning. And teachers will be here at around between 8:15 and 8:30 to open their classrooms and get ready for students to be here. You'll notice that all of the class periods on Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday are the same amount of time that they have been for the last 8 years. They are 48-minute periods. Our third period is a little bit longer to account for the announcements that we do every day. Our success period is the same amount of time, and all of the class periods are the same amount of time. So Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday, there is no change to the bell schedule, first through seventh period. Here's where you're going to see the difference. On Thursday and Friday, and you might be somewhat familiar with this from this school year when we have our early release days. Next year, every single Thursday and Friday of the school year will be designated as block period days. Thursday will be block periods with that release at 3:45 in the afternoon, and Friday will be an early release day every week. And that early release day coincides with the elementary school early release as well. And you'll notice on this that what happens in the afternoon is teachers remain at school every Friday between 1:55 and 3:25, and that is our teacher professional development time. It's opportunity for us to not just collaborate here on our campus, but to vertically articulate and collaborate with our peers on the K-8 school sites. So district-wide, we will be releasing at a similar time TK through 12. Again, all of these school days, except for Friday, students will be released at 3:45. You'll notice on these block days that each of the class periods are quite a bit longer. It essentially gets almost 2 full class periods in for the one day. And it means that your child will see their teacher for each class period 4 days per week as opposed to 5. And the fourth day they see them, either Thursday or Friday, they will have a longer class period. So it's an hour and 20 minutes long as opposed to the regular 48 minutes long. I'll just let you take a look at that. You'll also notice that we still retain our advisory period. and you'll notice that that's there on Thursdays. We retain success every day, just like we have always done. Again, what's missing from these because of the 8:30 start time is we do not have a brunch time. And if students would like to take advantage of breakfast, and again, I believe that the breakfast and lunch again next year will be free for all students. So we encourage families to send their kids at between 8 and 8:25 to pick up a breakfast, and then we'll get started with school. The next couple of schedules that you're going to see is, in the past, you've noticed that there's all kinds of different bell schedules, and we consolidated the testing schedules. We've cut down the number of days that we'll have. Our testing days will be very similar. You'll notice that the dates are there already. They are double testing days where they are scheduled so students see their teachers once within the 2 testing schedule days. The testing schedules will occur during MAP testing. They'll occur during state testing. They'll occur, help me, Brian. I think it's it. State testing and MAP testing is when we have
2 days, yeah.
These testing schedules. So we MAP test 3 times a year, fall, winter, spring. And in the spring, we also do the state testing days. So state testing days, we'll have 6 of these days. MAP testing days, they'll be back-to-back 2 days. And there will be consistent testing schedules. Every time you see these, you'll see it. We'll have a testing day A. You'll notice, like in August, the 9th and the 10th. August 9th is a testing day A. August 10th is a testing day B. There's always an A day that's paired with a B day. So those are our testing schedules. We also have some rallies. During the school year, we have a rally schedule where our students come together and they have a rally that they participate in, and we have to split the school in half now because they don't all fit in the gym at the same time. So that's what this schedule reflects, is an A-B rally schedule where half of the school will go during the blue rally and half of the school will go during the silver rally. That's why you see 4th period twice on this schedule. Students will attend the rally one of the periods and the class period the other period while we split that in half. And you'll notice at the top, that's the homecoming fall sports rally. We have a guest speaker rally. We have a winter sports rally, and we have a spring sports rally. This other rally is a full school rally. They are not rallies that will happen in the gym. There's the Aloha rally that happens out at the stadium. And then new for next year is a Lip Dub rally where we're going to participate as a whole school to do a fun music video together and build culture on our campus. And that necessitates us having a separate rally schedule. And the last schedule that we have are the 2 days that we have parent-teacher conferences. Again, we're going to continue with those parent-teacher conferences that are remote and by Zoom because it's easier for parents and teachers to meet with one another in that format. Parent-teacher conferences will happen between 12:30 and 3:45 on those Mondays and Tuesdays. And it looks like we might be having a connection problem. So I'm going to pause for a second.
You were frozen there for just a second, but it looks like you're working now.
Okay, good. It sounds like we're back. Our teacher conference schedule is the only other special schedule that we have. These will all be posted publicly on our website soon. But again, they will be for next school year, starting in August of next school year. And I believe that's all that we have. Oh, the last thing I wanted to mention, the big question people will have is, oh, you're eliminating days that my child will be in class with each teacher. That is true. There are less instructional days per class period, but you'll notice we calculated the minutes, a number of hours per year that a student spends in one class period. So if I was in a first period class this year, I would have seen my teacher 123 hours this year. Next year, the student will see that same teacher in that period class 122 hours and 1 minute. So it is a decrease of 1 hour, but that's not per week. That's not per day. That is for the entire year. We're only losing 1 hour and 1 minute, or actually less than 1 hour. 59 minutes is what we're losing next year.
Ben, I just want to point out too that we're still well over the instructional minutes required by the state.
Yeah, we're several thousand minutes over what the instructional minimum. If you're interested, it's 64,800 minutes a year for the school year, and we're well over by a couple thousand minutes for the school year. And again, we're not cutting very much instructional time at all. Now, the one thing to remember is that on those block days, the Thursday and Friday, and I'll go back to that slide really quick so you can see it, because that's the one people are going to have the most questions about. Those block schedule days, we have been working with our leadership council and with our teachers this year to ensure that on those days that we have we've planned and we've professionally developed around how to spend that time so that teachers can still get through the content that they need to for the school year. There are things that teachers will be doing to make sure that there's engagement during those class periods, and that they get the same quality and rigor of curriculum in those classes. Even though they're seeing them 1 day less a week, they are on that last day of the week that they see them, either on the Thursday or on the Friday, that they're making the best use of that time. So that's all we have to present. I don't see any comments just yet, but if you have questions, we would love to field those questions. If you don't, we'll sit for a couple of minutes and wait for some questions to come in, but that is all that we have to present for tonight. And we're so glad that you were able to come and participate tonight and listen to what we had to say. Again, these will be posted on our website in the coming days, and you'll be able to take a look at them. You will be able to rewatch this presentation as well and review the schedules that are on there. And if you have questions, we really encourage you to reach out to either Mr. Shum or myself, and we will answer any questions that you might have. That's a great question. So will the approved 22-23 Lammersville District traditional calendar be updated to reflect the early release on Fridays? Mm-hmm. Yes, it will be. This was recently approved because of the laws. That traditional calendar was developed before we developed these new bell schedules, and they are in the process of updating those calendars as we speak. We're actually pretty excited that we're able to release early, just like the rest of the district, on Fridays for teacher professional development, both at our site level and the capability that we will have now. We've never really released at the same time as the K-8 schools, TK-8 schools, and releasing with the TK-8 schools will allow some real true vertical articulation between our schools. So the next question, what is the reason for having advisory every week? Well, there's a great reason for that. This is not really a meeting about advisory. We've done advisory every week since we started school. There are priorities in both our LCAP plan, in our school plan, and in the state priorities that we have for social emotional learning, for digital citizenship, and for, as a school, for our culture building. It goes into our Western Association of Schools and Colleges plan that we address the social emotional needs of students, the culture building needs of students, and it meets the expectations that we have of ourselves and that the state and the district have to meet the goals that we need to meet that are outside of the general ed curriculum.
And I'll point out too, it's a great opportunity for students to build a relationship with a teacher. We have the same teacher loop with those students from freshman up through senior year. So it's just a consistent staff member that they can develop a relationship with. And I think as we get bigger and bigger, that's more important to have those opportunities built into what we're doing consistently, just so we have that extra person, advocating for the students and looking out for them.
Right. If people have questions about advisory as well, since this is not a meeting about advisory, I would encourage you to reach out to our vice principal, Karen Perez. She's the vice principal who is over advisory and the whole philosophy over advisory, what's taught in advisory. And if you have questions about that, she's a great person to reach out to. Her name is Karen Perez, K Perez at lambertsvilleusd.net. We're just going to wait one more minute here, and if there are no more questions, then we'll leave it here for tonight. Again, we're really glad that you were able to join us tonight. We hope that, and I'll go back one more time to our regular Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays, and assure you that the only thing changing next year on Monday, Tuesdays, and Wednesdays is we've moved brunch basically to the morning before school starts. And then we are releasing students 15 minutes later than we have during this school year, but the class periods will be the same amount of time. And then our Thursdays and Fridays will be block schedule, where students will see their teachers for an hour and 20 minutes in each period. But they will only see their each period once during the Thursday and Friday. And on Fridays, they'll be released early at 1:45. Thank you so much for joining us tonight. We really appreciate the time that you invested in coming to watch this and to listen to us speak. And if you have questions again, Mr. Shum or I can answer your questions. And again, thank you for being here tonight and have a great night.
Thank you, everyone.